there, gang, and welcome to another episode of Displaying-Model-Behaviour, the Earth's mightiest video podcast. So take off your pants, crack a beer, and let's talk toys. Let's talk about the top 100 most awesome, badass reveals from San Diego Comic-Con 2023. That whole weekend is in the books, in the pocket, out of sight. There's a whole lot of things to talk about, so let's talk about them. First up from Mezco, we've got the White Ranger reveal. Tommy from the Power Rangers, Jason David Frank, bless his heart. This is going to be a wonderful kind of tribute to him. I can imagine this is going to be quite popular, I would have thought, because of course the Green Ranger is pretty iconic for Jason David Frank, but this is him in his ultimate form, leading the Power Rangers as the White Ranger. I think from a little bit of nostalgia and also some tugging on the heartstrings, this is going to be a very, very sought after piece. I'm going to keep a close eye on this. Then we got ourselves a little bit of One Piece action from SH Figure Arts. Living here in Japan, I realize how massive One Piece is, and with the Netflix show coming out, if it's good, that's a big caveat, but if it is, that's going to expose One Piece to a whole new audience. Folks are going to get back into the anime, and SH Figure Arts are right bang on time for this, and they look bright, beautiful, colorful, kind of like NECA, where they perfectly capture the animated style of the Ninja Turtles. Here we're getting SH Figure Arts. They've done it with Dragon Ball, now they're going to do it with One Piece, and I'm excited to see what they can produce. Moving on now to something that I'm much more familiar with, it is Hasbro G.I. Joe. I'm doing this as a rapid fire kind of stream of consciousness, so I hope I don't garble my words too much. But this Jeep here, this set, oh man, you look at everything that this comes with. G.I. Joe Hasbro team, you're killing me here. The way that they've designed it with the gun turret on the back so that you can display two figures together going into battle, everything the G.I. Joe team seem to produce is just one-upping themselves. They're yes-anding themselves, and this is another one. All these accessories here as well, dang, it just, it looks amazing. This was a real highlight. Now, we got something that's a little bit unusual. We got something from Underverse. I'm really not familiar with this at all, so I want to find out. I want to learn more. That's a really cool thing when you get exposed to so many different action figures. You're like, oh, I've discovered these new things I want to learn about. This is a big one that I want to kind of look under the covers and go like, what is this thing? This brilliant looking cyberpunk neo-noir kind of cat-looking helmet head with the soft goods jacket. Yeah, I absolutely dig it. I want to do some more research on this. Speaking of, from that same booth, we've got, I think this is the smaller version of a figure that was released in 1/6 scale. Creepy looking World War I gas mask style figures. There's just something kind of, a bit unsettling, but a bit kind of badass as well. I really like the look of this fella. Then, back over to Mezco, and somebody stop me! It's the mask. And of course, the only problem with Mezco, the only little caveat is that, when are we gonna see this? I don't know. They have a habit of showing a really nice reveal picture and then going radio silent. So will it be at the end of this year? Will it be at the end of the next 5 years? I don't know, but the mask is a perfect property for Mezco to just bust out the weirdest, wackiest, and wildest kind of accessories to go with him. They could have a lot of fun with this one. Then we have, no, I was about to do the voice. I thought, no, Dave, you're better than that. Screw it.
And now we have Todd McFarlane's Bane, and he has a lovely soft goods jacket.
And he does. I mean, McFarlane getting in with the soft goods. Look at this guy. I like it. This is a con exclusive, I think. So, like, this is just a special release, but McFarlane seemed to be kind of just like, just nudging over into doing other things. And when they do other things, like the soft goods, they're just zhuzhing their figures up a bit more, and I give credit where it's due. Now then, a vintage collection Mandalorian starfighter. I forget the name of the ship itself. Star Wars: The Collection N1 Starfighter. I guess that's it. That's the name that it was that the picture's named as. And I'm like, oh yeah, of course, there you go. And this is kind of lovely because I think even if you don't collect the vintage collection, just this as a standalone display piece, just looks great. You've got Mando there. You've got little Grogu in the back as well. That's a great whole piece that encompasses the Mandalorian, and I think it looks kind of beautiful, actually. I really do. Then sticking with Star Wars, I don't know why I do this to myself. The Christmas figures, okay, they're kind of rubbish. They're just cheap repaints that they charge way too much money for, and yet I'm including them because it's a Nutcracker Stormtrooper. I kind of love it. I kind of feel like I'm going to get burned again if I get too into this, but I really like the look of what they've done with the gold, emulating the crown and the soldier-looking jacket. The same with the Jawa and the Salacious Crumb. And this I actually really like because Jawas are these small, little impish kind of creatures. And I can imagine having all these little Christmas imps like on your tree. That would go great. You could just like perch them on your tree like they're trying to set up Christmas for you. I dig it. I'm just a big kid at Christmas. The same with the Ewoks. A whole band of little Christmas minions. I think it's kind of adorable. Star Wars, I think this is cheap rubbish. I genuinely do, but also it's just hitting me in just the right way, and I really hate that it does, but it does. But one that looks like a genuinely cool piece is our Ahsoka Tano figure, and this is gonna be the year of Ahsoka Tano. We're getting the show coming out on Disney Plus very soon, and I'm gonna give it a go. Because Star Wars has been a big mixed bag recently, but I really liked Andor. I like bits of The Mandalorian. I haven't seen season 3, but I'm willing to dive into Ahsoka and give it a go. So this figure representing her, yeah, Rosario Dawson in all the makeup, looks fantastic. So we'll see about that. Now, back over to McFarlane, and again, another sort of limited edition, special exclusive. It's the sketch version of Spawn in the throne. Now, this figure itself has a few limitations. The fact that he doesn't have a full cape, so you can only pose him in the throne. But then again, if you're buying Spawn in the throne, why wouldn't you pose him in the throne? And having this black and white kind of look to it, it just looks like a beautiful display piece. That's really nice. Back over to G.I. Joe though, as a compliment to the Jeep, they have Cobra have this missile assault heat-seeking set, and dang it, again, man, they just, I wish for a lot of things, you know, world peace and all that kind of stuff, but also I kind of wish that I just had a gigantic warehouse and limitless money that I could army build the most incredible looking G.I. Joe army, I guess. That's the word for it. And if you had all the money, you could buy a whole squad of these, and dang it, they would look incredible. So moving on from there, we got, sticking with G.I. Joe, man. It's a doggy. It's a doggy who looks so beautiful. I don't know the name of the guy who comes with him, but really, it's the fact that the dog looks so beautifully put together, and he's got the cute head as well. It's not just the but actually the really cute little, such a good boy kind of face. I think that's just gorgeous. And again, the face sculpt for his owner as well. They just nail it. It's just beautifully put together. Hasbro, with their face designs and techniques and painting, they really are next level, man. For what is not a high-end figure, the facial likenesses and all the details, they push the boundaries with that. They really do. Same with the bomb disposal dude. I do apologize that I don't know the name. I've got so many figures that I want to go through that caught my eye. This dude was another one. And again, coming with so many extra accoutrements and accessories. That's what G.I. Joe do best. That's what Hasbro G.I. Joe do best. Giving you so much bang for your buck. And this is a perfect example of that. Now, Mattel, WWE with their Muhammad Ali action figure presentation display box. That's another winner. Another winner. Muhammad Ali has had various action figures over the years, but this is the Mattel iteration. This is the most modern, up-to-date looking one you can get, who will scale beautifully with your 1/12 scale figures. And yeah, it looks like a great facial reconstruction of Ali. It's a really good likeness. So having him in with your WWE display, you can recreate a WrestleMania 1 or, no, he was the referee at WrestleMania 1. That's the funny thing. Ali never had a boxing match in WWE, but he was a referee. So they're kind of playing fast and loose with history. You know, WWE loves to rewrite history. Did Ali box Rowdy Roddy Piper? what the hell? Yeah, in this fantasy, he does, and he looks great doing it. Then, we got the Motherboard San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. I'm pumped for the next season of Masters of the Universe. I really enjoyed the first season. Didn't enjoy all the discord around it because, man, there was a lot of vitriol based around that. But in hindsight, removed from that now, looking back, it was a fun time. And if the second season is a little bit more sort of traditional He-Man, I'm going to be really down for that. And this Motherboard design, it just looks beautiful. I don't know if Motherboard, help me out. Is this a figure that's been made or a character that's been made just for the series? Because I don't remember her from the 80s or even the follow-up He-Man, the New Adventures show. But regardless, she looks great. I can see that there's no thigh swivel though. It's a bit of a shame. Always kind of irks me a bit, but nonetheless, just the not translucent, but the vibrant neon kind of colors. Gorgeous. Really, really gorgeous. Then, NECA might be killing it with their Chucky dolls, but before Chucky, there was Talkie Tina, the living doll from the Twilight Zone, and yeah, this, again, kind of terrifying, but only if you sort of know the stories and whatnot. Actually, you don't need to know the stories. These little dollies always look terrifying. This is another one, but man, nostalgic Twilight Zone fans, you could eat this up. Then, speaking of some nostalgia, a little bit more recent, Jurassic Park. Hard to believe that it's 30 years old now, but Mattel have done this really fun 3.75 inch scale set. Yeah, I know, 3.75 inch scale, but I'll still call it out as a really fun idea. Doing Spielberg. I asked before when I spoke about this, I think, have we had a Steven Spielberg action figure before? Not that I can recall, and it's kind of nice to have him represented here. Then with the director's chair and the camera, it's just a creative set. It's not another random dinosaur, but something else that they thought, how can we have some fun with this line? And they did. It looks really cool. Then, finally, McFarlane gave us Wonder Woman, but at what cost? That's literally the question, because she's part of an NFT package. Ultra articulated action figure with NFT. I don't really understand NFTs, non-fungible tokens. It's a cryptocurrency kind of thing, right? It's bad for the planet and people generally don't like them. Is that what I'm understanding? Data mining's a thing. Does that have anything to do with it? Regardless, it's something that's like not a good thing for companies to kind of want to brand themselves with. Yet McFarlane seemed to be leaning into this and like, yes, let's do NFTs. Does Elon Musk like them? All right, well then, let's go. So, I don't know, it seems like kind of a tech bro kind of thing. So, it is what it is. The bottom line is, though, we're finally getting a classic Wonder Woman. And that's something that the DC fans have been calling for literally years now. And sticking with DC, you got a whole Batman and Robin wave. I think kind of like how Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, is now sort of fondly looked back on. Even though 20 years ago we were like, oh man, what have they done to Star Wars? This is awful. Now the people who were kids when that came out are like, hey, you know what? It wasn't that bad. It was. But why are we talking about that? I'm talking about Batman and Robin, which can universally be considered pretty bad. It really was. But there were some cool designs. The Arnold Schwarzenegger Mr. Freeze Build-A-Figure, that's kind of cool. I like the look of that. So just capturing the full set as well. Again, McFarlane showing Hasbro how it's done. Just doing a line of figures, just bringing them all out at once, not piecemealing them out a bit at a time over a few years. It's like, you want a Batman and Robin set? Boom, there you go. Then also, speaking of Hasbro, we got Alistair Smythe. Oh, finally! It's not the Spider Slayer that I would have most wanted, but the cartoon version is pretty close, actually. He's got the mullet flat top, but also the spikes over the shoulders, as opposed to the weird spooter things he has in the cartoons. So it's a bit of a mashup of animated and comic book, and the bottom line is, it's a figure or a character that we've been wanting for a long, long time. I'm happy with that. And then to go with him is a beautiful compliment. Animated Peter Parker. Brother, this just looks like it was plucked off the TV screen, and that's what he looks like. It's perfect. pinless as well. All nice new sculpting, bright, bold colors, and he's in his less dorky Peter Parker costume, which makes me think we're probably going to get polo shirt Peter Parker as well at some point, because that is the more iconic look. Maybe in a 2-pack with Chameleon? Time's going to tell on that. Then previously speaking of Batman and McFarlane, they dropped the entire 6-pack of movie Batman figures. This came out of nowhere. Soft good capes as well, with a price of I think $120. $20 each for each figure. Like if that's the price that sticks, then oh my goodness, McFarlane. I wouldn't want these particularly, but my goodness, a lot of people do. You can get 6 figures for just 3 figures, if you know what I mean. That's an incredible deal. Really great bargain. Wonderful recreations of the movie likenesses by the looks of things. I doff my cap to that, because even though it's not something that excites me, I just got to give credit where it's due. And McFarlane, again, you're giving the people what they want. Double thumbs up for that. Another classical property that I'm kind of learning more about is Robotech. And Toy Nami, whew, they got a beautiful looking Robotech mech here, and I love how it looks weathered and beaten and battle damaged. Doesn't look plasticky. Looks like it's literally been in the wars, and that's really cool. I love a good giant robot. This is one I've got my eye on. Then going over, speaking of giant robots, 3-0 Voltron. I grew up with Power Rangers, but I kind of knew that there was a similar Power Rangers thing that came out before it where they were all kitty cats, and I thought to myself, well, it'd be cooler if there were a bunch of different dinosaurs. However, the original Combiner robot looks like he's been done massive justice by 3-0, who always deliver with their robots and their mechs. This looks like no exception. He looks wicked. Then, this is completely unexpected. Syndicate collectibles with a double dragon set. Syndicate, again, a name that was new to me, but has totally come out of nowhere for me. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are people who have known Syndicate for years and are like, there's really not out of nowhere, Dave. They've been around for ages. Hey, if I've not seen it, it's new to me. But Bimmy and Jimmy from Double Dragon, yeah, that's cool to see there. But what's cooler from Syndicate, we're not done with them yet, the whole True Romance set. Again, don't piecemeal things out a bit at a time, just show us, boom, everything. 5 really great looking True Romance figures. Especially, I love Gary Oldman with his dreadlocks and his Drexel kind of looking gear. It's terrific. All of these, they look decent. They look like really, really well put together figures. Gotta love that. And we're not done yet. They've got the Ghoulies as well. In the 80s, after Gremlins came out, everyone was falling over themselves to do creepy little monster movies. And Ghoulies had their niche. And these, oh my goodness, they just look like perfect recreations of the nasty little monsters. They're really, really cool. The paintwork, the shading, everything on there, each one of them just, again, kind of like I was saying about Peter Parker, just plucked off the TV screen, straight out of the movie onto your shelf. They look really, really wicked. And then finally for Syndicate, you can see I'm trying to rapid fire my way through these. That way we can put Comic-Con to bed for another year. We've got Jean-Claude Van Damme and Bolo from Bloodsport. Yes! Bolo, is that the name of the actual actor? Again, my mind gets muddled. But nonetheless, he's a classic heavy. He's a classic goon from so many 80s action movies, but probably most famous for his role in Bloodsport. And Jean-Claude Van Damme with a great likeness as well. 80s side parting, sort of neat and clean looking Jean-Claude Van Damme. Both of these look like fantastically put together. They remind me of some of the Storm Collectibles action figures as well, just with the torso cuts and the way they sort of look. I don't know how they would scale because Storm are quite big, but I'm getting off track. Both of them look really great. Then, probably the biggest Mama Jamma, literally the biggest Mama Jamma from San Diego Comic-Con. We got the full display reveal of the Thundercat's lair. It looks incredible. I don't know if this is going to fund because it's so expensive, but I mean, you can kind of see why. It's cuckoo bananas bonkers. So whether or not it comes to fruition, I don't know, but just to be able to see it, I'm kind of in awe of it. So well done, Super 7. This is something I think you can justify as a Kickstarter, because you're not making thousands of these and shipping them out to stores. Nah, you want to make sure people are going to actually buy it, and who knows, time will tell. Then a little random one, Space Godzilla from Super 7. I love my Godzillas, and there's actually tons of Space Godzilla figures out there. This is another one. He's kind of pretty though. Now, Nier Automata from Square Enix. This is just a cool looking design. I played Nier Automata pretty much. I didn't complete it, but I did enjoy it. I know that the whole point of Nier Automata is you're meant to complete it like, I'm not going to edit that. You're meant to complete it like 4 different times to get the full story. I didn't even complete it once, but I enjoyed the journey that I was on, and I was quite a fan of the, is it 2B? Yeah, 2B, and this looks like a really good representation of her. I gotta slow down, because I'm mumbling and bumbling my words. Whew. Take a breath, Dave. We still got a long way to go. Now, again, from Square Enix, this is a Final Fantasy monster. I haven't played Final Fantasy. I just know what I like. And I'm looking at this giant Balrog-looking fire monster demon. Yeah, that's all I need to know in that regard. Then we got another Voltron. This time it's Voltron from Sentinel. Looks a bit blockier, more kind of matte and thick and cartoony. And I kind of dig that. It feels like more of a kid's toy, and that's not a knock against it. I like that it's a bit bolder. It feels like something that would have been made straight from a Saturday morning cartoon. I really love the look of that. Then, oh my goodness, speaking of loving the looks, we got a whole bunch of statues. And now this Shredder, this is how I would imagine Shredder looking. When I was a kid watching the 80s Ninja Turtles cartoons, Shredder was always a bit of a doofus. But I would imagine how cool and like just badass and terrifying he could look. This is what I was imagining. This Shredder statue looks the absolute bomb. So wicked. And then Mega Man. I covered a Mega Man. No, it wasn't a Mega Man. It was an Astro Boy. Nonetheless, it was a similar design where it's the classic cartoony character that's been stripped away to some of his robot parts, and you can see all the machinery and the cogs and gears underneath. I just think that looks wicked. Really cool. And standing behind him was the future of law enforcement, RoboCop. This is the RoboCop 2 version of this statue with the slight blue hue to it. I'm a massive RoboCop fan. Y'all know this about me. Or, maybe you do. I don't know. How intimately do you know me? If you didn't, I'm a huge RoboCop fan, and I think this is a 1/4 scale statue, so he's huge. Never going to afford it, but it's lovely to look at. And then, speaking of never going to afford but lovely to look at, the picture doesn't do it justice. I think there are lots of them online. I recommend you go over to Toy Ark and search and take a look at some more. But the Maximum Carnage statue we're looking at here, kind of taken from some Mark Bagley cover art from the series, and you've got so many characters hidden in here. Obviously, you got Doppelganger, Demo Goblin, Spider-Man, Venom, but there's a cloak in there as well. There's a black cat. It just looks incredible. You got Carnage playing them like a marionette with the huge head behind him. It's stunning. That might be one of the coolest statues I think I've ever seen. It's just beautiful. Screams 90s. And the only thing that screams 90s more than this statue is probably me whenever I talk, because I'm a sucker for nostalgia. Speaking of a sucker for nostalgia, look at what NECA have made. They've made a giant Krang from the first episode, the first 3-part story arc of the animated show, where he grows to giant size, and this is just crazy. I don't know what it's going to cost. I'm sure it ain't going to be cheap, but dang it, it's one of those ridiculous things where I'm sure someone at NECA just went, could we do this? Could we actually do it? And they were like, let's give it a try. And they did, and God bless you for it. Then sticking with Turtles, we got a new wave of the Turtles Universal Monsters. So we had the 4, and Casey, and Splinter, and April as well, but now they're doing more of them. And maybe this is more like the animated ones are being made into monsters, because the first wave were all very movie-ish. It was Movie April, Movie Casey, it's what they were kind of based off of. So maybe these are more of the animated style, but nonetheless we got Raphael as the Wolfman, and of course Leonardo as the creature from the Black Lagoon. And just like the first wave, The details on this thing and the highlights and the paint looks stunning. Really, really does. Now this is interesting, and this might just be wishful thinking on my part, okay? It's not Splinter that I wanted to show off. It's the backdrop. They showed these things on the Necker street scene diorama, but it's different. It's all grey and it's beaten up. It's got the wooden slats covering the windows, and I'm just wondering, is this just, they've customized their own backdrop, or is this actually a new Necker diorama that they're going to be releasing? Maybe they were subtly kind of showing it off. I don't know, but I'm hoping it is, because I love dioramas, but I ain't got skills, time, or ability, or patience to become a diorama builder. I just want to hand over money and get something good. And if Necker are doing a whole new diorama or just repainting their old one, that'll be a day one purchase for me. We'll see. But also, Michelangelo from The Last Ronin, I wasn't a big fan of just his black ninja gear, because it's just not very exciting. It's accurate and kind of cool, but it didn't really do anything for me. This though, this is a much more interesting looking Michelangelo. Again, standing in front of the Necker diorama. The more I look at it, the more I think maybe they just repainted the old one just for Comic-Con. And if that's the case, that's a shame. But if they do release a new one, well, you heard it here first. But they probably won't. Then, the future mascot for Displaying-Model-Behaviour. It is Earl Sinclair from Dinosaurs. He's taken off his pants and he comes with a beer accessory that he's just cracked. What more could you want for a model behavior mascot? And the fact that he's a big dinosaur, that's even better. Pretty much a Godzilla-style kaiju, taking off his pants and cracking a beer. Yes, you better believe he's going to be added to the shelf as soon as he comes out. Then, go way back into time. Nacelle Company doing Sectors. Does anyone remember Sectors? Where you got the monsters that they ride, the dragonflies, and you put your hand in the glove and your fingers are the legs? It was a lot of fun. And these are just completely redone, reinterpreted from the 80s. A lot of nostalgia going on with these guys. Similarly with their RoboForce figures. I remember buying, or maybe my mum buying, a whole bunch of these with me at a school car boot sale. And I was like, these little things with the sucky suckers on the bottom, so much fun to play with. And these just scream 80s nostalgia. Nacelle, they know how to tweak that nostalgia. And they're leaning into the 90s nostalgia as well with their Biker Mice from Mars, which actually is being developed as a movie by Ryan Reynolds' studio. How crazy is that? We might get a Biker Mice from Mars movie? Just when you thought they've done everything. Hey, look, I'm willing to give it a go. But these figures, again, bright, colourful, chunky, well put together with a lot of nostalgia. Of course I'm gonna like them. Then, Beast Kingdom with their black and gold Spider-Man with the huge big Waldos. This is their medieval. He's gonna get medieval on your ass. On your ass? That doesn't really make any sense. Regardless, on your asses. If you're gonna pluralize it, you gotta do both. Nonetheless, this is a 1/8 scale, give or take, so he's smaller than Hot Toys, bigger than 1/12 is what I'm getting at. But he looks very pretty. Originally, he was red and gold. Now you got the black and gold version. Equally pretty, I think. Then Mezco, finally showing their Doctor Doom in person. Doctor Doom was kind of revealed over a year ago, but we haven't seen in-person shots. So I was really happy to finally see it in person. Granted, I remember we saw the 89 Batman in person like several years before it was actually released, so I'm not going to get my hopes up yet that we'll get him anytime soon. Speaking of which, the Fantastic Four, so good to see them all together. They look fantastic, duh. But again, I'm not going to get too excited. I don't know how long we're going to have to wait for these, but at least judging by these pictures, when they do eventually come out, they're going to be worth the wait, because I really like what I see here. And these aren't including half the accessories. Sue Storm has so many invisibility force field things. The Thing has his trench coat and fedora. There's so much stuff you can do with this. I'm excited. I'm buzzing for the Fantastic Four whenever they drop. That's just another little picture there. They just look really pretty. That's what we're saying. And another one of Doom as well, because why the heck not? I mean, just he does look good. Some people said like the cloth on his goods, like the cloth on his goods, the cloth on his cape and his tunic, maybe a little bit thick. I don't know. I think it looks like it sits and fits pretty well. Time will tell when we one day have him in hand. Then sticking with Mezco, I'm just going to show Michelangelo here, but just as an example of their 4 Ninja Turtles. These look gorgeous. I haven't ordered them and I'm not going to order them. Sometimes you gotta say you can't get everything as much as you might want to. I'd love to have this set, but I'm gonna just let it pass me by. But when you see pictures like this, that's a tough decision to make because these turtles, they look terrific. They really do. And we got the Mezco Godzilla revealed as well. I'm just a big Godzilla fan, so I kind of popped for that. But then again, I'm in Japan. I got Godzilla figures out the wazoo. But Jada Toys, again, bringing the heat. This is 2023, the year of Jada Toys, and they ain't slowing down. More Street Fighter figures revealed. We got Cammy, we got Chun-Li and Bison shown in person. We got DJ, this Guile. I'm looking forward to seeing him with the full Sonic Boom special effects and all that kind of thing. He's going to look money. Same with Cammy as well. These figures are really making me want to dive in and go all in on the Street Fighter line. Will I? Time will tell. But again with Bison too. Bison, he's just one of my favorite villains. Such a great evil dictator with the cloth goods cape as well. If I get no other Street Fighter figures, I think I might have to get Bison. But also they're doing Cyberpunk as well. And these Cyberpunk characters with their soft goods too, they look wicked with the very anime sort of style going on there. That seems to be Jada's kind of wheelhouse right now with their Street Fighter faces. The same with these ones. They look super animated, but the detailing going on with the clothes, I really like it. The girl with the cigarette in her hand, they're not trying to sort of, what's the word? I don't know, trying to cleanse everything is what I'm saying. I can't think what the word is, but she's got the cigarette. It's kind of still grim and adult as Cyberpunk as a property is, and it's nice that they're leaning into that. That's kind of cool. Then just a random statue of She-Ra, and I'm sorry, but this just looks fabulous. I'm not a She-Ra fan. I don't think I ever watched any episodes of She-Ra, but I see a warrior princess riding a giant rainbow unicorn, and I'm like, yeah. I got time for this. And speaking of having time, Superman and Doomsday. Holy moly, yes, this statue looks badass. It's the 30th anniversary of the death of Superman, and we're celebrating in style. Is it the 35th? No, it's the 30th, I'm sure. Regardless, this is a great looking statue from Iron Studios, and yeah, this along with the McFarlane Superman and Doomsday 2-pack coming out. I really want to get that 2-pack because that Doomsday looks huge. Really, really cool. I want to pose him with my Mezco Superman. They'll look great together. So it's a good time to be a Superman fan. Then, from Hollywood Collectibles, a 1-to-1 scale. Do you recognize this? Do you know what this is? It's the Predator spinning disc from Predator 2. This as a display piece on the cool Yautja looking stand as well. It looks like it was taken straight out of the spaceship. That's really awesome. I love a look at that. You can always hear the sound effect of the disc when you just look at it. That's a great sense memory there. I've got a lot of time for that. Then we got the Higher Toys 1/12 scale Judge Dredd figures. And it's kind of a mixed bag, but generally I do like what I see. We got Judge Dredd, there's Judge Death as well. One thing that's a bit funny is because it's 1/12 scale but using real cloth goods and stuff, they have a real sized zip, which is great that it's a real zip that works, but it means the zip is way too big for the figure. It doesn't quite look sort of right. I would rather have a zip that didn't work and was more in scale, but it's a design choice they made, and I gotta stick with them, well, gotta respect them for sticking with their vision, but I don't know if it really comes off. Regardless, having a set of 1/12 scale Judge Dredd figures, that's pretty cool to see. Then of course, the Fwoosh has his articulated icons line. This is just awesome to see creators creating. And these Ronin ninjas, they look really nice. We just got the prototype front and center there, but these other painted ones, they look beautiful. They look like straight out of Ninja Scroll. Just double thumbs up there. They look badass, man. And then Mecha Gargoyles. They just still amaze me. I never bought a NECA gargoyle. We never got them in the UK. So luckily I wasn't tempted. But seeing, is this one Bronx? I think he's Bronx, but wearing the Thing style soft goods trench coat with the fedora. I don't know. Now I want to pose him with the Thing, both looking like a couple of, well, actually look like a couple of diddlers in their Macs, but they look great. Also, who are you fooling with that disguise? You got your wings on the outside, bub. But then again, folks in New York, they barely bat an eyelid. They wouldn't think twice. And also, you just gotta love a weird thing sometimes. And NECA's Mirage, is it? This is part of the Mirage line, I think. The more cartoony comic books, regardless. This alien here, he actually reminds me more of a real Ghostbusters type ghost. That's the vibe I get from this, but he looks really, really fun. Then we got the Acid Rain figures. These are 1/18th scale, I think, so not your classic 1/12th, but the designs, the Akira style bike with the badass robot armored looking samurai dude. Yeah, that's very, very badass. I just like the look of that. The same with their Kismet figure here. Maybe not sort of the scale that I would want, but just post-apocalyptic looking robots and soldiers. They're just really cool, man. Really, really cool. And then, along with the Thundercats Mountain, this is the other massive reveal of San Diego Comic-Con, the Robosen transforming Grimlock. Pretty breathtaking. I gotta say, the Robosen Optimus Prime, I was like, oh, that's a neat, quirky little thing, but honestly, seeing it in person, I'm like, it's fine, it is what it is. But this, oh my goodness. You could actually, from the price they listed, I think it's $1,500, you could buy 2 of the Thundercats, Thunder Mountains, whatever they call it. But when you see this thing transforming, you get it. I'm like, okay, I can't afford it, but man, I understand. I understand. Going back over to G.I. Joe, we got a couple of Dreadnoks as well, and that's just really fun as well. Seeing these guys released to go alongside Zartan and build up that squad with, is it Zatanna as well, the pink-haired lady? Getting more of these Mad Max style ruffians, these hoodlums, that's really cool to see. Then, Mondo Prince Adam. 1/6 scale with the cloth goods and just so goofy looking, but intentionally so. And brilliantly so. I love what they've done with this guy. So many accessories as well. Mondo at 1/6 scale, they are just they're eating folks' lunches, and I kind of love that. Then back to Mezco. They're building up the Bat family beautifully with Nightwing now. Again, just a preview picture, so goodness only knows when we're ever going to see this thing actually hit store shelves. But when he does, it's going to be a great addition. Put him next to your Sovereign Knight, your Robin, anyone else from the Bat family, Mr. Freeze who finally dropped, any one of the Jokers. The Batman set, it's being pretty well serviced by Mezco, and this looks like another great addition. Then, what's his name? Snout Spout from the Masters of the Universe. I love the Mattel Masters of the Universe line, the modern reinterpretations. I love seeing something that I saw as a kid and then seeing how it can be zhuzhed up to like modern standards. So this dude wearing the giant elephant head, it's pure nostalgia. Pure gimmicky 80s children's toy nostalgia. I just kind of fell in love when I saw this. So ridiculous, but so much fun. And sometimes that's all you want. I got a lot of time for Snout Spout. But then, going a bit more gritty with our childhood nostalgia, Leatherhead from the Mirage comics. And this dude looks terrifying in the coolest way. The sewer-dwelling bipedal crocodile. The details on here, he almost looks like he's straight out of Furay Planet. That I really like. It's just looking at him more and more, I notice more little details that are going on with him. I think NECA really killed it with this guy. And then San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Samurai Turtles from the third movie. Third movie, not great. And actually the Turtles costumes weren't great either. They sort of downgrading the more the movies went on. But seeing them represented like this, 3-dimensional with the full samurai gear that can be taken on and off, that's a great looking set there. Really awesome stuff from NECA. And look, I'm a kid of the 80s, so I grew up with Alf. So having Alf decked out as a Comic-Con attendee, that's just a really cute little bit of synergy with his Comic-Con backstage pass or press pass, whatever it is. That's really nice. I see some things sometimes and they put a smile on my face. And occasionally that's all you need. I really, really like that. Then, getting into the Marvel Legends side of things. And the X-Men 97 line, it was one of those ones I thought looks pretty, but I don't need any of these figures. However, I'm going to have to get this Wolverine because I just want him in the box. It's very rare that I get an action figure and keep it in the box, but this would be an exception because I would love to have this on the wall as just a great standalone. This is like what action figures should look like in my mind. I really, really love this. And then with Bishop, I was just kind of impressed at sort of the style. I think Bishop represents the animated style they're going for more than any others. Maybe because the other ones feel like iterations on previous action figures we're so used to. Whereas Bishop, with the different designed head, the short hair, it just feels more unique. And he just feels like he's got that more animated feel, but not too much, just enough to distinguish him. And I really like the look of that. Then got the Mindless One Build-A-Figure. I love a big chunky boy. It's funny that you're making a potential army builder as a Build-A-Figure. Maybe they'll do a deluxe release so people can army build them later, but nonetheless, I really liked what they were doing with this, with the swirly-whirly power effects coming from his eyes. I thought that was lovely. And Blade, the Daywalker. A lot of people were annoyed that he doesn't have a static head. I fall in the other camp who I only want animated heads. I want vibrant expression. So for me, this is awesome. It's the flip side with the Luke Cage where he looks so stoic and I'm like, well, where's his sweet Christmas look? So this Blade, we've been asking for a Blade for a long time. Now we've got him full on Wesley Snipes looking style with the trench coat and the flat top. So many accessories as well. For me personally, he's the highlight of that wave. And then similarly for Bishop, the Magneto is a great upgrade, I feel, for your Marvel Legends. Because the only other classic Magneto you've really got is from the 3-pack. I never really liked that very much. The cape felt very clunky and awkward. I never liked any of the head sculpts he came with. This is probably the best Magneto head that I've seen, including the Mafexes. I love the shadowing that they've done over the eyes, rather than just blacking out the whole face or just doing solid black circles around the eyes, basically. They faded it and made it look really good. This is a great looking Magneto, I feel. This is the Carnage statue again. I guess I put it in twice, but why the heck not? Twice as nice. It just looks, man, it's breathtaking. It's breathtaking what sculptors can do with statues. Yeah, you know what? I'm not even mad. I'm not even going to edit out the fact that it's in here twice. It deserves to be. It's just stunning. Absolutely stunning. Then SH Figure Arts with a character, again, I don't really know any of the SH Figure Arts characters, but I don't know any of the Dragon Ball Z characters. When I see something I like, I'm drawn to it. And this bright, vibrant, yellow and purple alien fighter looking guy, yeah, I saw it and I thought, maybe that's gonna be the first Dragon Ball Z figure I get one of these days. One of these days I'll pick one up, and honestly, I wouldn't be mad if it's him, because I think he looks wicked. Then, this is a very blurry image, but it's from the Diamond Select, panel. And they just showed this render here of Annihilus. And this is where Diamond Select shine in my eye, when they're doing monsters and mechs and big chunky creatures. This is going to look terrific with the Mezco Fantastic Four coming out soon. What a great combination. Or you could put him in a cosmic display with Galactus as well. I'm very excited to see some full color renders and pictures of this guy. Just like I felt when I saw them reveal Apocalypse about a year ago. This, I think, is going to shine. It's going to look great. Speaking of looking great, David from the Lost Boys. This is a 1/6 scale figure, and man, so great to get some Lost Boys merch coming out. Kiefer Sutherland looking like an absolute boss. It's got his vampire face as well. We got the bottle as well with the wine inside. It's great. I'm a huge fan of Lost Boys. That's a nostalgic favorite, and Sideshow, they done nailed it. They've done the man justice. They really have. Back over with Mezco and their Turtles line, they revealed Casey Jones. Total Mirage look. He's going to fit right in with those Turtles, but again, it's just this one image. And we don't know when we're going to see more from him, so don't get too excited. But it was enough to make me raise my eyebrow and go, hey, this just does look pretty cool to me. Then we're going to We're going to spruce this guy up a little bit, enlarge the picture. Another Dreadnought. Man, buzzer this time. I love that he comes with a completely separate chainsaw. I mean, that's going to be a fun accessory for any character. I think there's going to be some fun articulated comic book artwork with some of these accessories. But yeah, again, another Mad Max style, really fun, 80s cartoon looking villain. That's what you want. That's what this guy is. Again, Hasbro killing it with their G.I. Joe line. Then we got Mazing Haiger from Blitzway. You know me. Sometimes I just see a pretty picture and I'm like, I like that. Don't know what it is, but I like it. A giant mech robot with huge big wings and a massive sword. Yes! Sign me up. That's going to be something straight from some anime that I don't know about. I mean, that's what it is, isn't it? I don't care. I just know what I like. And I really, really like the look of that. He looks wicked, man. Then a little Star Wars nod. I gotta say, when I saw this dude from Rebels, yeah, he's one of the good guys from Rebels, I was like, huh, kinda like that guy. Even though I don't collect Black Series Star Wars, I was just impressed with the sculpt that they did and the bright colors. I think he would look really nice in the Cosmic Legions display. I just love the sculpting on the feet, the big toes, and just everything. He tickles me, and it's not often I look at something from the Black Series and go, huh, I kinda like that. Oh, I skipped over. Ah, yes. They revealed the new HasLab as well. The vintage collection big starfighter from Rebels, is it? Again, I've just seen a couple of pictures and my finger's not on the pulse with Rebels, but I thought that this looked nice. And it's a kind of a big deal. Anytime they do a HasLab, whether you're into it or not, it's a big deal. So I'm looking forward to finding out more about this. Then Crystar. Crystar came totally out of left field as far as Marvel Legends reveals are concerned. Such an obscure character. I mean, we haven't had anything from Crystar in goodness only knows how many decades, but here he is, represented, and that's Hasbro really thinking outside the box when it comes to what figures they're going to do. The fact that we still don't have a 90s Kane, but we've got Crystar, get out of here! But also I know that there are some folks who grew up with this as a property, so that's a real big surprise, and I like being surprised. And also, Justice. It's annoying. It's annoying that it's a modern-ish kind of Justice, an Avengers Justice. And it's like, well, what about the actual New Warriors? Original Justice, who, you might want to put in your New Warriors team. But, Hasbro are funny in that regard. Maybe it means that we will get a New Warriors old 90s style Justice eventually. In the meantime, though, he fills the gap. And sometimes that's what Marvel collecting is all about, just filling the gaps as best you can do. But then, Coffin Comics Lady Death statue. Y'all know me. Like a bit of cheesecake, and yeah, this is just shameless. And that's great. It looks great gothic. This is as metal as a statue gets. I just kind of dig it. What can I say? And then Trapjaw from the Masters of the Universe. Kind of like Snout Spout. It's seeing the old figures remade in glorious modern styles and modern tech. And I love that. This little Trapjaw here, he looks wicked. Then I was trying to place this Ultimate Warrior costume when I first saw it, and I was like, it's not SummerSlam, obviously. It's not WrestleMania 7. It's SummerSlam 91. It was SummerSlam 92, I was thinking originally, but he wore the bodysuit in that. SummerSlam 91, right before he gets fired after going backstage. He came out with Hulk Hogan to battle the Triangle of Terror. That was a garbage main event. But nonetheless, Ultimate Warrior's costumes. I kind of like Hulk Hogan. I try to like the character as opposed to the person who portrayed them. And Warrior, just the look, the makeup, the tassels, the face paint, the jacket, just so toyetic. It's a lot of nostalgia there. I like the design. Mezco have their foil. They've got their, oh wow, I've just blanked on both the names. That's one of my favorite action figures of all time, is the guy on the left. And Atticus Doom, there you go. Whew, that was going to give me a brainurism if I couldn't think of that. Atticus Doom has his villain now, the goat masked looking evil warlock type character, but they've got these tentacles coming up as well, and I'm guessing, are these tentacles going to be packaged in with I think it's Dr. something or other, not Faustus, but something like that. But yeah, to have him as a foil for Atticus Doom, if it comes with the tentacles as well, that's going to be, just like you see in the picture, a heck of a display piece. That's very exciting to see. Then, Detroit Steel, baby. Another Marvel legend that just came out of nowhere. Who, in a fun way, I'm asking, who asked for this? I don't care. Whoever did, God bless you. Because we got this crazy stars and stripes looking giant mech with the chain gun, the chainsaw, and possibly chain smoking. Who knows? But I love what I see there. That's a Marvel legend that hopefully it'll go on clearance. And when it does, maybe I'll snap him up, because I just love the big, bright, bold, colorful look of him. He looks like a lot of fun. Then, going back to the Mirage Turtles, Rat King. If you want to have a creepy sewer display, you've got Leatherhead and you've got this terrifying looking Rat King. They did a great job with this. Just looks so gnarly. So many details, so many gross little points on there. I saw the picture and I was like, whoa, what is that? Oh, it's Rat King. And that's the expression you want. That's the reaction you want. Then on the complete opposite side of the spectrum, a little bit of cute fan service cheesecake. Kotobukiya, I've got the Optimus Prime and Megatron Transformers girls, and look, I don't need any more. But seeing this Starscream one here, although funnily, I think maybe it might be Skywarp that they're bringing out first. But essentially, I think they might just be repaints of each other, as the original ones were. But this is just fun to see that they are doing more of these Transformer anime girl type statues. This render here, it put a smile on my face. I think it looks really, really fun. I'll stick with Prime and Megatron, but it's awesome to see them making more. Then I think this might be the last one. Yes, it is. Wow, 100 reveals from Comic-Con that kind of got me excited. We have NECA Alex Murphy. This came totally out of the blue, and I love it. This is Peter Weller captured to perfection. They have done an incredible job on doing this guy. So they've just done a great bit of justice to the likeness. I mean, that's what NECA do. They're great with their movie likenesses. This is no exception. And we see that he comes with 3 different heads and an entirely different body that's all, shot and bloody, and it's grim, it's gross, it's visceral. And if you want that, then you're going to be able to get it, and you'll be able to model a very grim, gross, visceral scene. I would keep him just as classic Alex Murphy, and the annoying thing is that now I kind of want to buy that NECA RoboCop, but I'm sort of disappointed in it because it's not a great figure. They pretty much just re-released one that they made ages ago. But maybe on the flip side, this might cause them to do a brand new RoboCop. And if they do that, if I can get the two together, I'll be a happy chappy. Folks, that does it for my top 100 reveals of Comic-Con. Whew! Alright, we can finally put the convention to bed for this year. Roll on Hasbro Pulse so we can get excited about more things. Guys, what were your biggest, most exciting reveals from San Diego Comic-Con? Comment below, let me know. And if you like what you see here and you want to see more, then you know what you gotta do. Sorry, I don't know why I made that so threatening, but if you want to click the like button, that would really, really help out the channel. Or if you want to go over to patreon.com/displaying-model-behaviour, you can toss a couple of bucks my way. That really helps support the channel, and you get access to the Model Behavior exclusive Instagram. You get the extra little videos on there that I post. It's a fun time. But gang, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, keep displaying model behavior.
Cup of coffee.